Throughout football history, wise men have congregated to bring you the best stats, predictions, and analysis of the game. These are not those men. 3 derelict Oakland Raiders fans expelled from clown school for shaping inappropriate balloon animals at children's birthday parties and borrowing the school clown car to attend a Murphy's Law gig in Brooklyn. With no ambitions outside of rodeo barrel racing and the Shiner Circus, they made their way to the rolling hills of northwestern New Jersey and established a home at the Irish Cottage Inn. Surrounded by Jets and Giants fans, they called in reinforcements and established a circus sideshow of their own, known as the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole. Join the party each week on the Fan Club Blitz, a wild ride into the world of die-hard football team fan clubs from across the globe, with your hosts, Splatterhead, Blitz, and Tom, Clown School Rejects. What's up, Raider Nation? Anyone else who might be listening? We welcome all fans here at the Fan Club Blitz. We just happen to be Raiders fans ourselves, so that's where our primary focus is. Anyway, this is Splatterhead, aka Chuck, and unfortunately, due to some technical issues, you're getting a podcast selfie this week. We'll take care of the technical stuff on our end, and next Friday, Fitz and Tom will be right back here with me for the show you're all used to by now, but today, you're stuck with me. So, since I don't have my partners in crime, I'm probably going to cut this episode down a little bit. I'm thinking maybe I'll just do 3/4 of a show. If it's good enough for the Raiders, then it's good enough for me. Alright, so on today's episode, here's what I've got. First up, I'm going to do a little Dolphins post-game rant, which will ultimately lead me into what I'm calling the state of the nation. Emotions are high, and I get it, but some of you just ain't making any damn sense. And I'm going to break that down, give you my own personal take. Next up, I have an interview with DJ Mike Scott, the president of the Philly Black Hole chapter. We'll rap a little bit about the Raiders, the Raider Nation. We'll learn about the charity work Mike does in his community, how you can help out if you're so inclined. And I think after hearing what he's doing, a lot of you will be inclined to reach out to Mike and see how you can help out. And we'll talk about the Black Hole Philly chapter, and we'll talk about the history of that group and his relationship with Rob Rivera and Danny, guys that started off the Black Hole. So I think you guys will like that interview. And after that, I'll give you my thoughts on the Brown game. Browns, whatever. I'll give you my thoughts on the Browns game that's coming up this weekend. So a little bit of pregame, but I won't go into it too much since we'll be recording the next episode on game day, and I'd much rather do a detailed pregame with Fitz and Tom, because that's a lot more fun. A lot more fun for me, a lot more fun for them, and I'm sure a lot more fun for you. And after that, it's Murph's favorite new segment, You Dead to Me. And then I'll wrap up the show and maybe discuss the next episode very briefly. Alright, so here we go.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz, posted by the NJ Black Hole. We are here at the Irish Cottage in Hamburg, New Jersey.
Alright, well, I'm not going to go too deep with the post-game this week. Again, I'm flying solo today, which changes the whole dynamic of the show, but I'll break it down a little bit. Again, the Raiders came out swinging, putting points on the board in the opening drive. If you watch the game live, then it just seemed like we had this one. We were going to be 1-2 at the end, and we'd be heading home with a much better outlook. Then the fourth quarter came, and once again, the gas was let out of the tank, and the car stalled. So week 3 left us all scratching our heads, wondering why in the hell we can't finish these damn games. And I definitely don't have an answer. At this point, I'm hoping the coaching staff and the team can come up with an answer themselves. So far, they seem to be as perplexed as the rest of us, and that's not good. But it's in their hands, and it's their job to figure it out and come up with the solution. So let's see if they can do just that. I'm not one for playing Monday morning quarterback. Look, what happened on the field happened. We can sit here and say, well, if they did this and didn't do that, then XYZ would have happened. But again, they did what they did, and hypotheticals aren't going to cause the L to turn into a W. Are there things I didn't agree with as it unfolded? Sure. I'm not sure if it's an unspoken rule among NFL coaches or what, but you're 4th and 1 at the goal line, and you got Marshawn Lynch on the team. You give him the damn ball. But time and time again, we see these situations and coaches decide to go another way. So the Raiders have not even a yard, but inches to go, and they decide to give the ball to Keith Smith, who I believe has a total of 2 rushing carries on his entire resume. I don't get the logic. I mean, I get that everyone in the stadium, everyone on the sideline, everyone on the field is expecting Lynch to get the carry. So maybe you go for what they aren't expecting. But here's the thing. There's a reason they're expecting beast mode to get that ball. That's because he's got about a 99% chance of scoring there. And no amount of defensive preparation is really going to change those odds. You give that man the damn ball and let him do what he does best. That's my thing, and hopefully, they can figure that out, because I'm telling you, maybe it's not 100%, but look, that guy was going to score. So, all right, but it didn't happen. That's not the way we went, and, here we are. Do I like the pass to Bryant that resulted in a pick? No. It was one of DC's famous 50-50 shots, and it just wasn't good. Again, it can't be changed. So it is what it is. Nobody wants to see picks, but I'm not going to beat him down for it because he was taking a shot for a big play. And had it worked out, we'd all be talking about how amazing it was and what a great arm and a great catch. And but, it failed. So we have to live with that. But it doesn't mean you park the car. I don't. That's for my next segment. But it is what it is. I mean, what pisses me off isn't so much the picks. I'm not happy about picks. You're not supposed to be happy with picks, but that's not the biggest issue to me. The biggest issue is our inability to put more points on the board, because that's where we're lacking. And I don't know who to put the blame on. I'm not sure if it can be planted on anyone, exclusively, because it's a culmination of things. Or you can blame Gruden because he's the guy, right? Buck stops here. But if anyone wants to take me up on a bet, I'll wager a few bones that there is not one spider Y banana interception left in that playbook. Gruden or Olsen, whoever's calling the plays, isn't setting the team up to fail. The play calling is 100 times more creative and coherent than it was under the last regime. The plays are designed to march us down the field, eat up time on the clock, score, and maintain a lead. The first 2 of those aspects are working fine, where we're eating up the clock and the field. No doubt about it. We're marching right down the field, virtually unstopped, and taking our sweet time doing it, which is what you want. We're storming right into the red zone, and that's where the problems start, because all that clock control and gained yardage is completely negated if you can't put points on the board. If you can march 95 yards at will into the red zone, then there really is no excuse for walking away with anything less than 6 points. So what's the problem? Is it the red zone play calling? Is it an execution problem? Both. I for one have no idea. I don't really know, but it's got to get fixed, and it's got to get fixed now. I I don't know. I got we're all looking at the same thing. Defensively, yeah, I think we look good from where I sit. I mean, yeah. There's no pass rush. I know, and I can't argue with that. But overall, we look, again, 100 times better than last year. And we had that guy. And now we don't. And the defense still looks better. Yeah, no pass rush. I understand that. But, yeah, I think we'll get there. Look, the run defense is holding it down. Other than when the quarterback keeps the ball, apparently. They can't stop that. But, they are holding down the run, and the corners are actually looking for the ball this week, which, that'll save you some goofy pass interference calls, man. Just, turn your head and, do your job. This week they seem to be doing that, which is good. I see improvements on the D, and I'm going to leave it at that. As long as I see continuous improvement, then I'm not going to complain about the details. If they stop improving and it doesn't get better and it stays where it is right now, then yeah, that's a problem. But each week I see improvement, and I'm happy with that. Look, it is what it is. Hey, that's it for my post game. We'll see what Tom and Fitz have to say, because we'll do a little. I'll get their post game take, as we do the pregame for the next show. Other than that, I got nothing else for that game. Now I want to get into, we'll call this the state of the nation. I had 187 members of our Black Hole Facebook group yesterday morning, and it's now down to 82 because I had to delete almost 100 people just because the constant negativity that doesn't do anybody any good. And look, if you're an active participant, if you're on there and you're talking and you're contributing, if you're an official member of the Black Hole, or somebody in one of the booster clubs that we're friends with, and you're in the group and you're attending games and you're attending events and you're actively involved, then all right, maybe I give you a little more slack. But if you're just pissing and moaning, and I've never even seen you before, and you live right down the street, but you can't get off your ass to go to a football game and hang out, but all you want to do is come in and harp and bitch and moan, and this sucks, that sucks, this sucks, that sucks, you're gone. You're out. Nobody's here for that, and I'm not going to sacrifice, people who are involved that are, they're like, hey, I'm leaving. I don't want to look at this crap every day. I'm not going to lose those people who, I know their families, I know their kids, I know their, we've been to games together. We've hung out every Sunday for the past 3 years. I'm not going to lose them because some idiot sitting on his couch just wants to, bitch and moan. So, yeah. Some of you are gone. Outside of just that, man, look, the nation in general, you guys got to calm down. We've been doing this for a long time. It's we've had since Gruden left, we've had turnover after turnover of coaches, quarterbacks, all just miserable, lousy, rotten seasons. A couple sparks of hope there. I see some of you guys like, oh, we should bring back Hugh Jackson. Shut up. All right? Yeah, it was a little bit of a spark, but come on, man. How many games has Hugh won in Cleveland? Just think about that for a second. And that's who you want to bring back? And compare what Hugh Jackson did for us to what John Gruden did for us. And then, reevaluate what you're saying. Think about things a little bit. And stop with all the negativity. Look, you're either in it for the long haul or you're not. If you're just going to be, if you're just going to be here to complain and whine and cry, then you have to find something else to do with your life, because football may not be for you, especially if you're going to be a fan of this team, because we're going to have our ups and downs. And look, the reality is nobody wants to talk about, starting over, rebuilding, because for fans, we've been doing that for 16 years now, right? We've been rebuilding. So we don't want to hear about it anymore. It's the last thing we want to hear, because we've been doing it. But you got to understand that for the coaches and the players that are on the field now, and for the staff in the office, they haven't been doing this for 16 years. The rebuilding started with them as soon as they all came into the fold. So you got to, as a fan, it's frustrating. But, look at it this way. How many coaches have we had in the last 16 years? How many quarterbacks have we had in the last 16 years? I mean, you should be used to this by now. When you fire your head coach, when you bring in a new regime, you're starting over. I mean, you may not be starting completely from scratch, but the reality is it's going to be a new system. There's going to be new players on the field. There's going to be a new scheme. There's going to be a new playbook, and it takes time. Look, we all want to come out of the gate and just win, and everybody wants to go 16-0. Nobody goes 16-0. 0-3 is not a good start. But you know what? If you look at the way that the game's being played and the execution on the field, for the most part, despite our fourth quarter play is terrible right now, but if you pay attention to the play calling and you pay attention to what's actually being done in these games, we're doing pretty good. The pieces are all in place, and I think we turn it around, man. And if we end up mid-season 4-4, I'm going to be pretty happy. So anyway, let's that's my address, and we're gonna do the interview next. I talked to DJ Mike Scott, who is a longtime friend and member of the Black Hole. He's a co-founder and the president. Actually, he's the founder and president of the Philadelphia chapter of the Black Hole. Anyway, I'll let him speak his piece, because you're going to hear all this information anyway. All right?
All right, what's going on there? We got DJ Mike Scott, president of the Philadelphia chapter of the Black Hole. Mike, I apologize, man. We did an interview on Sunday, pre-game, and my audio was completely wasted. So we're going to do this again, and now it's post-game, and I'm sure we got a whole lot of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do, man. It's okay, man. Having a conversation about football and the Raiders with you, we can do that anytime, bro.
That's right. That's right. So, man, the Browns we're going into. That's the game everybody was like, oh, I'm going to that game. Everybody wanted to go see a win. And now, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, you definitely can't take them lightly. I do think that with the last 2 weeks of us being so close, I think it'll be another nail-biter. Hopefully I'm wrong, and if it is a nail-biter, hopefully we can pull out the win this time.
Absolutely, man. Well, it helps that we're back home and we're not dealing with, all the elements of being at Mile High and then traveling across the country and playing in the heat, wearing black and all that stuff. But at this point, though, all that stuff is really just excuses.
Yeah, it is. We have a team that's capable of winning, and they just got to go out and win, man.
I agree. So, you guys getting together again for the game this weekend? You got people coming by?
Yeah, we're actually, we had I guess we had 12 or 14 last week, which is pretty cool. We had the food on the grill. We had tequila and Coronas going, and this week we're going to go up to one of our members' house. I think he lives right over to Walt Whitman. We're going to ride up to his house.
All right,
watch
cool.
the game.
That's good, man.
So yeah, we're excited, man, and of course, at the end of the day, we just want to get the W, and that's all I'm thinking about right now.
I mean, that's the important part, man. I'm not even I'm not even sweating the interceptions as much as other people are. I'm more so the fact that we're not putting points on the board.
Yeah, I agree. I think with that last game, man, I think throwing the ball, I was a little upset with, us not keeping the ball on the ground. We were killing them on the ground. And I thought it was a bad play call, but then hearing Gruden, it sounded like Gruden kind of let the audible, if there was one, or whatever, Carr wanted to do with the ball to do it. And, Carr saw the one-on-one matchup and he thought he could get it to, Bryant, and it just was intercepted. So I like that. If he catches the ball and we score, we're all happy. Our defense holds and we're happy we win. So it's hard to kind of be upset when any kind of a coaching or quarterback decision, because, when the ball's in the air, you say, no. When we catch it and we score, we go, yeah. So it's one of those things where, if it goes our way, we're happy. If it don't, of course, we're not. That's all. It's simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way football works, right? We get mad when something doesn't work, but when it does work, hey, that was genius.
Right. I was all for keeping the ball on the ground, though. I ain't gonna lie, man. Under 3 minutes left on those 13. You score, you go up 3. You don't want to give them any time on the clock to march down and kick the tying field goal or to go ahead and win. But it is what it is. And again, 2 weeks in a row, we played pretty good ball. We came out on fire and we're just not finishing. So we just gotta learn how to finish. It's the same thing we're saying, but it is the truth. It's not cliche. We got to learn how to finish the game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not been paid to be an NFL coach or a quarterback because that's not in my skill set. So I'm not one to sit around and play armchair quarterback or Monday morning coach.
Right.
It's these guys, that's what they get paid to do. Sometimes what they do is going to work. Sometimes it's not going to work. I hear people going back and forth. The last 50 seconds of that first half, people are like, oh, we should have, instead of taking a knee twice, we should have given the ball to Lynch, let him run it down, see if we can make something happen. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's not what happened. So
right.
There's no point, sitting here and beating yourself silly over it now. I mean, they played good ball, and at that point they were in the lead. I think they were just like, why risk giving them the ball back,
Yeah, I agree.
And let's come back with the lead and see what happens. And unfortunately, the same story, for the first 3 weeks is that we can control the clock, we can control the tempo, we can run the ball. We have a little trouble doing anything with it once we get into the red zone. But, you know, we come back, and then in the you know, late third quarter, and then definitely in the fourth quarter, we just can't keep it together. So hopefully, you know, they can figure out what's wrong and they can fix it and we can move forward, because it's still only week 3. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. There's still a lot of football season left.
Man, and not only that, Chuck, the thing that a lot of people are forgetting, John Gruden is an NFL coach, but he's been gone for a long time. You know, the rules change, the tempo of some games might change. You know, there's a lot more passing going on now, and he kind of has to get used to the NFL again and coaching again. And so, with that being said, you know, you going into, you know, 3 or 4 weeks of football, you can't really expect him to be exactly how he was when he left the game as the coach. And I do think that you can see flashes of his play calling working for us. A lot of people were skeptical of him saying he's going to go back to the old, you know, 1998 John Gruden. And even I was like, yeah, you know, you might have to catch up with the times. But in all honesty, man, it's as simple as football. He wants to run the ball. We're doing it. He actually is giving us the opportunity to play action now, because our play action looks better this year than it has ever, at least in the last 10 or 15 years. And why? Because we can run the ball, and we also have the short passing game, which keeps the defenses, you know, on their toes. So I think it's a matter of him actually getting used to coaching again. And then the players that we have, man, just getting used to the system, and we'll be fine.
No, I agree. And I think that, you know, it's hard for fans, and I have to remind myself, because nobody wants to hear rebuild and start over. Because as fans, that's what we've been doing for, you know, 15, 16 years now. We've been rebuilding. We've been starting over. We're tired of hearing that. We've seen this revolving door of coaches and revolving door of quarterbacks. And, but to the team on the field, and to the new coaching staff, this is all brand new to them.
It is.
They haven't been doing this for 15 years, right?
Right.
This is a new, so we have to be a little bit more patient, and not, you know, because I said last year when people were talking about firing, you know, Jack Del Rio in the middle of the season, people were like, you know, he's got to go. And I said, that's fine, but you got to keep in mind that whenever you get rid of your head coach, we know what happens. We've seen it happen so many times, man. We're starting over.
Yep.
It's a new system. It's new coaches. You're starting over. Whether we may not hear that, because we're ready to go. We're tired of starting over, but this is reality. And I think that, you know, I still have hopes that we can at least end this season at 8-8. I'd like to do better, but I'm realistic. So, and I'll be happy with that. But I'll be happy with whatever happens, man. As long as I see, you know, what I have seen is improvement. Even though the L's don't speak to that, but I do see improvement.
I think that if we can get to 500 by week 8 and be at 4-4, then anything can happen from there. You know, because by that point, you know, our offense is clicking, our coaching staff is clicking. Hopefully no injuries, and everyone's healthy. We can continue to move forward, and then, you know, if we can squeeze in at 8-8, there's a possibility for a nine win season. So we'll see what happens. If by chance we don't get it, you know, I'm not going to say I'm all right with it, but I do understand it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm with you. It's not that I'm all right with it, but I will, you know, look, I got most of my life invested into this team, right?
Yeah, you do.
I got to roll with it, and and hope for the best. And then if they come back next season and they start doing the same crap, then I can get a little more cynical.
Right.
But I'm giving it time and hoping for the best, man. So I know we already covered a lot of this stuff, you know, in that call that nobody's going to hear. So we have to rehash it again. Tell me a little bit about the Philly Black Hole chapter.
Okay, so Philly Black Hole officially was established in 2009. But the guys that ran the Black Hole, that run the Black Hole, Danny and Rob, I met them in 1997. It was a Monday night game versus Kansas City. My first time in Oakland, it was my brother and I and a cousin that went out for the game. We met Rob and Danny in the line outside of the stadium parking lot at about 5:30 in the morning, and we had a sign that said Philadelphia and all, and they were like, "Hey, you guys are from Philly, you know, you guys came all the way out here." So our friendship started that day, that morning at that game. Since then, both of those guys and their families are like, you know, they're like brothers to me, and their families, their wives, their kids. And they were actually in our wedding when my wife and I got married in 2012. So it was easy for me to actually be affiliated with the Black Hole from the beginning. And I was actually kind of recruiting guys and saying, you know, you should join the Black Hole, you know. But then once they started doing chapters, it was, you know, we did the Philly chapter, and it was pretty cool. So we have a lot of people on our Facebook Philly chapter group, but the core guys, the members of the Philly chapter, we're probably somewhere around 15 to 20 strong.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think we're up to about 25 members here in Jersey, and then we had about 192 members in our Facebook group, but I don't know if you've noticed, but that's down to about 82 now.
Yeah, you gotta do it, man. We had that conversation, and there's a lot of non-active members on our Facebook page that don't even comment or like or anything, and then there's a lot of negative. You know, we had this conversation with the negativity. So we're trying to kind of like get it to a point where, you know, these are serious, official, diehard Raider fans that want to be a part of the Philly chapter, and we're going to roll from there.
Yeah.
And it seems to be something that everyone agrees to.
Yeah. I mean, I actually had lost a couple of, you know, of core members that, they were like, you know what, I'm leaving this Facebook group, man. I'm done. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not going to lose, you know, active participants in the club because some guys that don't even participate are coming on here and just being nothing but negative.
Agreed.
So I'm getting rid of them and trying to get my core guys to stay involved and stay active, which is good. And then one of those guys, you know, called me up yesterday. He's like, hey man, thanks for, you know, cleaning house, and I'm going out to Oakland this weekend, so let's meet up. And he's taking our flag out there, so
nice.
And he's going to hit up the Black Hole tailgate, and he's taking his wife and his kid out there, so that'll be a good trip, man. And it's nice to see him. You know, he was really happy that I reached out to him. So look, I don't mind negativity. I don't mind people being cynical, and that's fine. But, you know, there's a way to do it that shows that you actually care about the team, as opposed to coming out with just, you know, if the beginning and end of your opinion is everything sucks, and let's fire everybody, then I don't really have much time for it. And especially if you're not, you know, if you can't even bother to get in your car and drive 15 minutes up the road and join us for a game at least once a year, then, you know, I really don't have time for it. If you're actively involved and you're, you know, then I'm gonna listen to your opinion a little bit more.
Right.
I may not like it, but look, if you're there in the trenches and you're going to games and you're, you know, putting the work in and you're, you know, raising money with the 50-50s and just being involved, then okay. Say what you gotta say.
Not only that though, Chuck, like my biggest issue, with this is, if all you do is come on your social media platform and in our Raider group and say nothing but negativity. Like I had a guy last year through the whole year from the draft to the end of the season that anything that he ever, and he was active. He came to my house. We went to games and stuff, when it came to the East Coast. So he was active, but he was just so negative. Everything was, this sucks, that sucks, this guy sucks, we're the last to stop. And it was like all year, every week after every game, even if we won the game, it was just so much negativity. So my biggest issue is, yeah, you can vent. I mean, come on, I vent. I might get on there and be like, damn, what the hell were we thinking? Why would we do that? We had the win in our hand. Okay, now I said it, and it's over with. But there's the guys that continue with that, and it goes on and on. It lasts all week. Then the following week, now 16 games are gone, and now preseason is here again, and you're still talking about what happened last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. And
yeah,
even
so that kind of kills me.
Even when we win, it's still negative. It's just negative. I can't take it. And that's not what the black hole's about, right? So we have to, we have to keep in mind that we're football's most notorious fans, right? And we gotta rep that in the way that the black hole wants to be represented too. And, just whining and moaning ain't gonna cut it, man.
Right.
So, as we did last time, I just wanted to ask you a little bit more, because I know that you and your wife do a lot of charity work that's outside of the black hole, but I know a lot of members also help you out and everything when they can. But that's all good stuff, man. I'd like to just give you a chance to talk about that a little bit and tell people, what you guys do and then how they can help, how they can find you, and all that good stuff.
All right, I'll be quick with it because it's really kind of a nice long story, but I'll give you the quick short version. I met my wife in December of 2006. Right before I met her, I was in a bar in Norristown, and a young mother was crying, and she didn't have money. She just got laid off. The story that happens to millions of Americans, around the holidays.
Right.
And so she was upset, and we collected a few dollars, from a couple people sitting at the bar, and gave it to her, and she was appreciative. From there, the following year, I told a place, called Bourbon Blue, a restaurant in Manioc, Philly, that I was DJing there at the time. And I told them what happened. We agreed to get together and start a foundation that kind of did this every year. So it went from then, and then 2007, and my wife was involved because at that time, then she's with me, the following year. In 2007, we started, and we did I think we did 3 families, then, and then up to last year, we were at 38 children. So, and I think it was 14 families. So, every year for Christmas, we were giving, gifts, toys, food, clothes to as many kids as we can. And we do 2 events, one in the spring and one in the summer to raise money. In August, we do a back to school drive, and this year we did just over 300 book bags for, 300 kids in the Norristown area school district. The name of the foundation is Help a Single Parent Foundation. You can find us online. Our website actually just launched last night at helpasingleparent.org. There's an email there, there's phone numbers there, there's footage of different events that we're doing or past events. We're really excited, man, and to give back to the community is a really good thing. We're just looking forward to growing.
And that's great, man. And that's awesome stuff, man. And hopefully, our listeners will reach out and do what they can to help, man. I really appreciate what you guys do. I was impressed when we went down there, and even in the middle of all the mayhem of, having the tailgate and having the party and doing everything that had to be done for the Philly game, last Christmas, man, you guys still put that time aside, make sure that those gifts got delivered, and And that was just awesome and impressive.
So, let me tell you something, man. That was one of the most hectic days I've ever had for a few reasons. One, you know, a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes thing. So with the behind the scenes, of course, you know, of planning the 3-day event we had for the Raider Nation. You know, with that, what was it, Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday the tailgate. You know, planning that for months and then actually getting together and, you know, trying to get people to help you out or whatever. And then in between all of that, we had to go shopping for kids. You know, we had the deliveries on Christmas Monday morning, you know, hours before the tailgate started. We were still dropping off, you know, gifts for, like I said, 14 families, 38 kids. And then, you know, coming home, unloading the stuff for that and loading up the tailgate and going right down to the stadium. So that day was one of the most hectic days, you know, that I think I've ever had from doing any kind of event, man. But, yeah, the smile on the kids' faces, man, and then getting down there and seeing the Raider Nation down at the stadium, down to Lincoln, Philly, you can't beat its prices, bro.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man. Just, you know, having a good time and making people happy and then being able to get together with fellow Raider Nation and you know, and hey, and we came out of that with an L too, but you know what? And we froze out there, and but we had a blast, man. And that's what I tell my people, and what me, Fitz, and Tom talk about on the show a lot, man. Is you know, we want the win, but at the end of the day, even when we get it, the important thing is come together like this, hanging out with friends, having a few beers, eating food, and sharing that karma, and just being one with the nation, and because as fans, that's the only thing we can control. We can control what happens on the field, man. But I can control the atmosphere that we create and that, you know, our members create just by coming together and doing good things, man, and being, you know, positive members of the community, even though, you know, we may have that reputation of, you know, being hoodlums because, you know, Raider fans, but we're all family guys. We're all, you know, real supportive. And, I mean, yeah, you come walking into a bar with a Chargers jersey on. I mean, we're going to give you a hard time. Not right. No doubt about it. We are going to give you a hard time. But we'll also buy you a beer. And we'll, you know, it's all in fun, man.
Yeah, it is.
And again, we can't control what happens on the field. We can't control what happens in the front office. But we can control, you know, our environment. And nobody does it like Raider Nation. I can guarantee you that. I talked to some of these other clubs that support these other teams, and we've had some of these guys on our show. We've had the Chiefs Club here in New York. We've had a Cowboys Club on. We've had a Dolphins Club on. And, man, they're not doing anything in the off season or anything like that. They get together during the season. They watch games. But other than that, man, they don't even see each other. And I told them, I'm like, you know, Raiders fans, you give us an excuse to, you know, throw on that black and silver and get out there and hang out together. I mean, we'll barbecue every weekend. If there's a, you know, I mean, we'll watch reruns of old games. We don't care, man. We will. Any excuse, and we are out there. And not only that, but going out and working in the community and raising money and doing whatever we can to help. It's a constant thing, man, and I hear it from all the other, you know, I hear it from the booster clubs, I hear it from the Black Hole chapters, and it just makes me feel even better about, you know, this team that I just, you know, have dedicated my fandom to since I was a little kid. It's awesome to see.
It is awesome, man. Very, it's a big deal to me to be a Raider fan, and in this area being in Philly, you know, we take it, we hear it from different fans, mostly Eagle fans, of course, but to me, it's like a pride thing. You know, you put on those colors, silver and black, and you walk around, and people really do look at you and be like, wow, he's a Raider fan. Like, you almost think you're a celebrity. And as fans as we're playing, they still go, wow, you like the Raiders. Man, that's what's up, you know?
Yep, absolutely, man. No, it's cool. I mean, people are always hitting me up, and I mean, I work in an office building that's, you know, 57 floors, man. And everybody that works in this building, the engineers, they all know me as the Raider guy. They all it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I know your time is crazy. So before we hang up, man, just like I said, I always like to get a message to the nation. So throw something out there for us, Mike. What you got for Raider Nation?
I'm gonna keep it real simple and short. Have some patience with us Raider fans. That you could, some of us that really understand football, that follow football no matter who's playing and maybe played the game. You can see the change from last year to this year. From the play calling to the defense playing a little bit harder, to us actually being in these games. Just have some patience and have a little bit more faith that turnaround is coming. Just continue to wear the black to silver and then support our Raider Nation. We'll be fine, man. It's going to come. It's going to turn around.
Absolutely, man. That's a good note to check out on, man. And, you and I'll talk, man, and we'll get to, we'll try and figure out some way, hopefully this season, but if not, man, we got to definitely do it next season for us to all get together for a game, maybe down in Atlantic City or, somewhere in between here and there. I know your schedule's a little bit crazy, but on game day, we should be able to figure something out.
Yeah, I think we can. And I think, why don't you look into that, sooner than later, man, if we can maybe, even if it's late winter, or late season, that we do a game and we meet down in AC. Like I said, my wife and I will just come down and stay the night at one of the resorts down there, the casinos, and watch the game with everybody and come back Monday. So let me know.
All right, man. Let's do that.
All right,
Mike.
Good talking to you, man. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Feel out there today in the
hot.
It seemed like you still had it late in the game.
Had what?
Had like all your energy. You weren't fatigued all late in the game. Slowly being listening.
The game was on the line. Just want to make plays, Chief.
Why do you feel like it's been a challenge for this team to close out games this season?
To be honest with you, big dog, I think we just like a play away, a check away from being probably the most explosive offense in the league. And I mean, it come with time and it come with preparation. And I mean, I don't think we're gonna stop doing that. So, at any given moment, it can click though. What I think what's going to be most important is that we rally behind each other, though. You feel me? More than anything. I mean, if you get into on the outside looking in, it look terrible. But we know what we got in this locker room. So I mean, if we get behind each other, you feel me? I think we'll be able to turn it around, though.
As a veteran, that's what you have to kind of preach to some of these young guys.
Excuse me?
As a veteran, that's what you have to kind of preach to these young guys.
No, I think it's more so just as a football player and being a team player. Because, I mean, we all know what we're capable of. And, I mean, at any given moment, like I said, though, we just play away from it. And most of our players is playmakers. So it only takes to step out of one tackle or, that one juke move or a spin move. And, we have a different ball.
All right, so that was a good interview with Mike Scott. Mike's a great guy. Like I said, if you're so inclined, please reach out to Mike and see what you can do to help out. And also, if you're in the Philadelphia area, South Jersey, anywhere around Philly or the suburbs, reach out to Mike and hook up with the Black Hole down there in Philly. Really great crew, and Mike, you can't say enough good about Mike Scott. I think if you've listened to the rest of these episodes, Mike's name probably comes up, at least every other one, whether it's Rob or me and Fitz, and we got nothing but great things to say about Mike and the Philadelphia Black Hole. So, reach out to him, and or if you're just traveling through Philly, man. Hey, they're always ready to get down. So can't say anything more about that. So let's do a little bit of pregame. I'm not going to do too much. Like I said, we'll be recording and I'll have my partners in crime with me, so do a little better. But what I'm laughing at is Wonder Boy at the end of the season last year was Garoppolo. Paid him a ton of money, and then everybody, that's all they could talk about, especially the Bay Area guys. Garoppolo, he's going to save the 49ers. Look, I laughed. I mean, kid comes in, he wins 5 games against teams that didn't even care if they won those games or not. And nobody prepared for that kid anyway, so whatever, comes in, wins a game without scoring any touchdowns, and then next thing you know, we're sending him to the Hall of Fame. And then next on the list was Darnold. Darnold, the Jets, he comes out and has one great game, and man, give him a gold jacket. They're going to the Super Bowl, buying their tickets for Atlanta already, and now I guess it's Baker Mayfield is the next on the list to be the Wonder Boy rookie quarterback, because he comes in for half a game against the Jets and looks like a star. So now, he's the talk of the town. He's going to get the Browns are buying their tickets for Atlanta now too. But I'm not buying it. We'll see what happens out in Oakland. I'm not counting them out. Look, I said last season the Browns looked like a good team. Yeah, they didn't win any games, but you know what? They had a lot of close ones. They came down to the wire, and those guys fought hard. And the defense is no joke, man. They like to cause turnovers. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we're gonna come out and we're gonna swing hard and probably have a great first and second quarter. And then I'm not making any predictions on what happens after halftime. But look, if we lose to the Browns, it's just embarrassing, but it is what it is, man. I'm rooting for my team, and I think we can pull it off. We're back home. Like I said to Mike, I know they're all excuses, but we're not battling, the elements of Mile High or Miami. We're back in the black hole. We're, and we need this win. We can't go out there and lose to the Cleveland Browns. It's just not. It's not a triumphant return for John Gruden if we can't beat the Browns, right? Even though I still give a lot of credit to the Browns. I think they're actually a good football team. I thought they were a good football team last year. They just couldn't win. I think we're a good football team. So far, we just can't win. What are you gonna do? Got to go out and win. That's all that matters in this sport, is going out and winning. So let's see if we can do that this weekend. Anyway, you'll get a much better pregame, like I said, with the other two knuckleheads next to me when we got a few beers in us and we're hooting and hollering. As long as we don't have any more technical difficulties, it should go off without a hitch.
All that hate's gonna burn you up, kid. Keeps you warm.
Well, we know what this is. Someday we can go back to an episode without this segment, but for now, it's not to be. You're dead to me. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out by name this time. This is more of a general dead to me spot. If you have gone on to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube recently and typed the words, "We should trade Gruden, we should trade Carr, we should bench Carr and start what's his name," because that's who he is, what's his name. If you've said any of those things, you're dead to me. If all you have to utter out of your pathetic pie hole is negative nonsense without any constructive anything to say, and all you can muster up is, this team sucks, This organization sucks. Mark Davis sucks. John Gruden sucks. Derek Carr sucks. You're dead to me. You're dead to us all. You're dead inside. You're not a fan. Go away. If you're still watching these football games and you're saying, I can't believe we got rid of Marquette King. That was the first dumb move we made. You're dead to me. If we go into week 4 and you're still crying about Khalil Mack, you're dead to me. So, if you're one of those 100 or so people that found yourself removed from the New Jersey chapter of the Black Holes Facebook page, guess what that means? It means you're dead to me. So when the team finally gets itself back on track, maybe not this season, but next season we find ourselves in another playoff run, and you people start trying to come back, remember, once you're dead, you're dead. And as of now, you're all dead to me. So we won't be seeing you again. And for all those of you that are jumping off the ship, I'm not watching this team anymore. Just remember that when you're out at sea, you're on a pirate ship, and you see the Jolly Roger flag waving up high above you, when you jump off of that ship, there are no life preservers. Nobody's going to throw the safety ring in and pull you back in. You're out at sea with the sharks, and you're dead to me. That's it. That's the show. It's a wrap. Like I said, we'll take care of the technical issues, and we'll have all 3 of us back with you next week. And hopefully, there won't be anybody on the dead to me list. Even though it's a fun segment, but come on, guys, get it together. You don't want to be dead to me. If you want to reach out to us, you can leave us a voicemail at 732-798-0257. You got somebody you want on that death list? Go ahead and throw them on there. If we agree, I'll add them. Got anything positive to say? Leave us a message. Hey, and we don't mind if you're cynical. Go ahead and be cynical. Just, you come with some knowledge and some understanding of the game. We're cynical all the time. I mean, the 3 of us are, we're not exactly the most optimistic people that you're ever going to meet, especially when it comes to the Raiders. But we're also not complete jackasses, and we have an understanding of the game, and we have an understanding of how things work. So we don't mind if you're opinionated. We don't mind if you're coming with some cynicism. But if that's all you have, nothing but negativity, then you can leave a voicemail, but we're not going to play it. Anyway, you can find us on Facebook. You can get all our shows at Murph's Fan Cave. You can also just look for us if you want, Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. And that's about it, guys. All right. Hope to hear from you. Enjoy. We'll talk to you next Friday.